people give you credit for talking about your goals, and they give you credit for achieving the goals. No one's like, you really fulfilled your creative vision on this project, because that's a totally internal thing that only you know
Right.
about.
Right. Right. Um,
You did what you set out to do. How would they know?
yeah. Um, yeah, that reminds me, there was a review in Variety for my first movie that was really mean about my body because I was really I was like in Olympic shape, and there was like, this would never happen today because I
But
think
this
this
wasn't like
man,
20 years ago.
I know, but it was, but it was like, they, he said it was really difficult to look at my flat chest and freakishly gnarled feet. And it was so crazy because I
Imagine
was like,
writing that. Like,
imagine writing it, but I was like, oh my God, my body made this man uncomfortable. And I was like, but that's the same discomfort. Cause this is to your point about he didn't understand my goal. And I was like, oh, he felt uncomfortable, but the character feels uncomfortable in her body too. And I was like, oh, he felt, and it's not about the way it looks. It's that I was like, oh, I was like, rad. He felt uncomfortable. And I was like, this movie is a little bit about discomfort.
okay, I love that. One of my favorite things in reviews is when someone says negatively
But
exactly what you
what
set out to do.
That's what I mean. And but as if it's a fault.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened. And I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, thank you." You know what I
Yes.
mean? He was like, "I just felt so uncomfortable." And like, this is a girl in a movie who is trying to be romantic with a boy, but
Yeah.
she has this, Olympic whatever, this kind of, you know,
Sure.
not a typically hot body, I guess, in someone's terms of it. So yeah, you're right. And it's rad because yeah, because they're putting right in they yeah.
But yeah, I get this all the time. People be like, all Ryan is doing is taking the ideas from the Stoics and connecting them with stories from history. And I'd be like, bro, that's like the
Yes.
log line of the project that I
Yeah,
set out to
that's
do.
awesome.
And you're saying it negative, and what they're saying is this was not for me. And what I was saying is this is not for you. These are for these people over here. Well, they're saying this is not good, but what they don't realize is that what they're actually admitting is that it was not for them, And but part of the way you have to insulate, I think, when you decide to focus on what you were trying to accomplish and
Mm-hmm.
your vision, and you have clarity about what that is, as opposed to just vaguely sort of following something wherever it goes, is that when you have that clarity, then you can read a negative review and take it as positive because it
Mm-hmm.
confirmed, like he thought he was hurting her feelings or condemning the work, but you're like, you actually just, the title of your review should have been Mission Accomplished.
What's interesting about what you're saying is that you're basically saying that you need to know your own goal before you go out in the world and like receive other people's analysis of
Yeah.
your goal. But earlier in our conversation, we were saying that we don't have goals anymore. And so I think we do have goals. It's just there's goal. It's not like it's goals with it's different kind of goal,
Well, they're just
right?
not external goals. So it's
They're
like if I
that's an
had
internal goal.
if I had a creative vision, then I'm either going to achieve that vision or not. But if my goal is to have the number one movie, right? Then someone else, like, do you know? So
You
that's the
do have
distinction.
goals. You have internal goals now.
Yes, but goals isn't the right word though. It's like I have things I'm trying to do as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to contests I'm trying to win.
Yeah.
And um, that like I'm focusing my energy on the parts of it that are up to me versus the parts that are not up to me. And I have
Mm-hmm.
clarity about what I'm trying to accomplish, which is maybe different than what I'm hoping to achieve.
That makes sense.
That's the distinction, I think. I mean, there's something so nice about sports in that they're very binary.
They're very binary, and like if someone is on the team, like I realized this recently, like if someone's on a team, you assume that they were like good enough to be there, right? Like
Yeah.
they had to hit a
Sure.
certain standard, or the coach picked
Yeah.
them, they did tryouts, and you assume that y'all have like you're aligned in your goals and it's equitable and all this stuff, and it's simple with performance, as
Yeah.
you said. It's also simple with your orientation with other people in that world, because you're either good at this sport or not, and it's relatively clear.
Yeah.
And I think in the non-sports world, it's become very clear to me that like it's not as simple. Like the evaluation is not as simple. And so when you step into a room, you know, there's not, I don't know. It can be complicated.
Like you're either in the NBA or you're not.
That's what I mean.
And to be a professional filmmaker or artist or influencer or creative, it's a much vaguer thing. And there's a lot of people pretending.
Yes.
And then a lot of people aspiring. And so it's harder to know where you sit in. So you have to become much more internally focused and internally driven about like what I'm trying to do, what success is for me, and then what race you're running.
Right.
Like the difference between like in a cross country race or the Olympics, it's like you all started at the same time and you're all finishing at the same finish line and you're all after the same 3 medal spots or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But like if you're just out for a run on a Thursday, like somebody started before you, somebody started after you, somebody's recovering from an injury, someone's doing it for fun, somebody's trying to lose weight. You know, like we're all running for different reasons, doing different things, and you got to have a much stronger sense of the race that you're running, or you're going to find yourself competing with this random stranger who you happen to have aligned with for 2 seconds, but like you're playing almost different sports.
Yeah. And I think it takes time alone to like hear those thoughts for yourself. And I think that's like a big thing I need to do more of, is like spend more time alone to be more and more in touch and realign and recalibrate. Because sometimes my alignment will change, but I need to like notice that and then recalibrate, almost like, you know, like a Pokemon becoming like I need to evolve.
Pokemon evolution.
Yeah, it's sometimes I feel like I have to have moments where I'm like, oh, I'm no longer this, or I no longer care about these things, or my values have evolved. But if I don't take the time to like see the Pokemon evolve, I can be in my default settings in thought a lot easier.
I have an 8-year-old, so I hear a lot about Pokemon evolution. So this metaphor is funny to me.
That's awesome. I was going to be like, I have a boyfriend. He's really into Pokemon cards too. So people don't always outgrow it.